This pale blue dot is the only home we have. In an effort to keep the skies of our only Earth clear and blue, the Republic of Korea proposed that the UN adopt the International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies and urged global cooperation. This year, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change published a very significant finding. According to that report, the Earth has warmed 1.09 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times. The climate crisis knows no border. The international community promised to pursue efforts to limit the increase of Earth's temperature to under 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial times. In the face of global warming and the climate crisis, countries around the world are acting on their commitments to achieve carbon neutrality. Last year, the Korean government revealed the Korean Green New Deal, a strategy to transition to a low-carbon economy while stimulating job creation. Korea also submitted its long-term low-emission development strategy to the UN and pledged to become carbon neutral by 2050.
국제사회와 함께 기후변화에 적극 대응하여 2050년 탄소 중립을 목표로 나아가겠습니다.
With strong political will to achieve carbon neutrality, President Moon Jae-in announced an updated target to reduce emissions by 40% by 2030 for its nationally determined contribution at the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties. The Republic of Korea also joined the Global Methane Pledge, planning to cut 30% from the global methane emissions by 2030. Having grown from a developing country to an advanced economy through rapid industrialization, Korea actively serves as a bridge between leading countries and latecomers in the global climate response. The GGGI headquarters that supports green growth in developing nations is based in Korea.
That Korea will establish a Korea Green New Deal Trust Fund at GDGI, and that will be a fund used to share Korea's Green New Deal and green technology experience with the member countries of GDGI. It's really a very important development for GDGI.
Korea hosted the Climate Technology Center and Networks Partnership and Liaison Office and the headquarters of the Global Climate Fund, the world's largest climate fund. Korea plans to increase the share of its Green New Deal ODA to above the average of the OECD Development Assistance Committee countries by 2025, identify and implement key projects for mitigation and adaptation sectors and in each region, and continue to bolster its green partnership with other countries. The Republic of Korea is working closely with its neighbors and international organizations to seek ways to prevent irreversible damage resulting from climate change. Besides intergovernmental cooperation, Korea's local governments and civil society are also making efforts to achieve carbon neutrality. For example, Hongseong County in South Chungcheong Province is building energy self-sufficient villages that use manure to generate power. While in Goyang, a city neighboring Seoul, citizens are leading the energy transition by building solar farms to produce electricity. The future generation is also joining the civic climate change mitigation efforts. Global green growth supporters propose their own ways to respond to the climate crisis from the perspective of youth and engage in various on- and offline activities to raise the public's awareness and understanding of climate and environmental issues.
But during the pandemic, it's been really impressive to see the rapid transition in Korean politics and in Korean society. Korea has become a leading country in Asia on climate action. And in coming years, we're really expecting that will lead to Korea helping other countries in Asia take the same road.
Through public and private cooperation, Korea successfully hosted the P4G Seoul Summit, where world leaders discussed inclusive green recovery towards carbon neutrality. Korea also held the International Forum on Transboundary Air Pollution, which provided a platform to explore measures to tackle air pollution through international cooperation. 2021 marks the first year for implementing the Paris Agreement adopted by the international community. At COP26 in Glasgow, UK, the world took its first step towards the successful implementation of the Paris Agreement. Carbon neutrality is a challenge that requires fundamental changes in our social and economic systems.
그러나 기후 위기 대응은 선택이 아닌 필수입니다. 인류의 생존을 위해서도 대한민국의 미래를 위해서도 반드시 가야만 하는 길입니다.
Korea is working shoulder to shoulder with countries around the world to accelerate the transformation that will save lives and usher in a better future.